Alright, so welcome back here to another one, guys. Very requested video here. Today we're going to I'm going to show you how to target and catch summertime shad for catfishing or for jugging or whatever you need your shad for. So first things first, I want to make this very clear that where I am, shad are not in one place year round. So this video here, I'm going to focus more towards like the summertime shad. These shad are out in the main lake basin. They're not so much up shallow. Yes, there are a few, but the good majority of them, the easy ones to catch, are out in the main lake. Now, that goes different in the fall and the winter time as well as in the spring. So as the year progresses, as the water cools off, gets down around that 50-degree range, right now we've got 84-degree water. These fish or the shad are out here out here in this main lake. They're feeding on all the algae and the plankton blooms that are happening. Everything's came off the spawn, so there's just a million of them. Millions and millions of them out here. Now in the fall time, in the winter time, you need to be looking in a little different locations. As the water cools down, these shad will go deep. So then I start looking in the creek channels, the river channels, the deeper holes. These shad are gonna look and find the warmer water. So they're gonna be a lot deeper. Right now these shad are right up on the surface, real close to it. In the springtime, the shad will push shallow. They're gonna do their spawning. Once that water gets up around 60, 62 degrees, you can start finding shad real shallow. Mud banks, real hard banks is where they seem to like to spawn. So this one video here won't be able to cover every place that shad will be, but we're in the summertime, and it's hot. We're going to show you how to catch the shad, how I catch them, for the next 3.5, 4 months basically. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I use my side scan, my electronics, to find these fish. Now, I know a lot of you guys may not have side scan. You can use your 2D. I'm going to show you, right now we're going to be catching these shad in about 8-9 feet of water. So you have to remember, with 2D sonar, your cone angle in 8-9 feet is going to be about as wide as your boat. So you're not going to be able to cover a very big spread with your transducer cone angle. That's why I use the side scan. It allows me to shoot out. Right now I'm shooting out 80 feet on each side with 84 or in 8-9 feet of water. So I'm covering a lot of ground. I can see those specks, I can see those shad. So if you do have the ability to use side scan, definitely use that to your advantage. I will show you guys what it looks like on down imaging and 2D, but you're limiting yourself. Also, one little extra thing, in the summertime like we are now, this hot water, this can also just be a visual thing. A lot of lakes around here, there gets to be so many shad that come up and eating these algae and plankton blooms that you can actually see them on top of the water. And so it's a visual thing as well, if you don't have electronics, Also, if you're a guy that doesn't have electronics in your boat, you can still look on the edge of riprap where there's going to be some algae blooms, some algae growing. Boat ramps are always a good thing. Right off the docks, you get that good scum that forms on the boat ramps whenever that water warms up. That's a good place to catch a few shad. But this is where, what I'm going to show you here, you throw one time and you're good for the day. So anyway, let me pick the camera up and I'll show you what I'm looking at on my side scan here. All right, so let's get driving along here. Now you can see I'm right off the edge of an island right here, and these are ledges. I like these places, especially the south wind's been blowing in all day to this island, so you're using the wind to your advantage too. So what we're gonna do is, you can see we've got a river or a creek channel coming right off the edge of that island. It's shallow. We're just gonna drive along through here, and we're gonna look at our side scan, and I'll show you guys what the shad look like whenever we come up to them. Now once we come up to them, then it's just a matter of just stopping back and throwing at them. So you can see right there is what shad look like. They look just like little bitty specks. Now we're right over them, so let me show you just little tiny specks. That's a down imaging view. And right there is a 2D. Those are shad. Those are not big fish. So just remember that. So here we're gonna drive up on the side of this island, and the closer we get to this island, the more we're gonna get on that ledge, and that's where the big bunches of shad are more than likely gonna be. So I'm just driving along here. You can see there's a pocket of shad right there. If we get into a big bunch, I'll show you what the shadows look like, because on side scan, you're looking more for the shadows than you are the fish. All right, so now you can start to see here, we're getting into a little bigger concentration. We've got fish 20-30 feet out. That's what the shadows are gonna look like. You can see there's some underneath us right there. All speckles. These are all shad right here. And that's what your shadows are gonna be. You can see the little tiny specks. I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera, but there's little tiny pepper specks right there, and those are all shad, right? And you can see the shadows, so you're actually looking for the shadows. We know that they're about 20 foot off the right side of the boat. So what I'm gonna do is, that's a pile of fish right there. So I'm gonna just throw my motor in reverse, and I'm gonna get the camera set up, and we're gonna throw on these shad. All right, so I've got a ton of fish out to the side of me, so we're gonna throw on them real quick. We'll show you what they look like. So I'm using like a 6-foot radius throw net. I don't use giant throw nets. If you guys wear a knife, take your knife out. So if you're gonna throw, real simple. Grab your net down about a foot or so, pick a piece, separate it. We'll just let that net drop all the way down to the bottom here. I'm only throwing out like 15-20 feet. I can see them on my side scan. You guys see that? One throw, we've got 10 or so. All right, so that was trying to set the camera back up and do all sorts of funny things there. So normally what I'll do is I'll just sit here and I'll drive along, and I'll have my throw net, I'll have it basically ready. And if you guys couldn't see that in the video here, so like I said, I don't use giant throw nets, never have. I don't see a need in it. So this is a 6-foot radius. I'll grab about a halfway, not quite halfway down, pinch it. I've got all my coil lined up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a loop, just kind of put it in my fingers right there, separate it about arm's width away, and sling it hand over and just let go. There's nothing hard about it. All right, so I'm watching my side scan. I'm seeing shadows, I'm seeing shadows 15 foot off the side of the boat. Let that net sink all the way down to the bottom. I can feel them kicking at it. That was a good throw. That was a real good throw. Probably another 10 or so in there, guys. All right, now I can keep doing this all day long, but you know, that's plenty of shad for me. So these are the shad that I'm targeting here, and shad will kind of school up by size. So you can see those are nice 5-6 inch shad right there. So in 2 throws, I've probably got 20 shad, which is way more than enough for a, you know, an average day of fishing. But that's plenty for setting jugs. And so that's basically how I do it, guys. You just got to kind of understand the movements of shad more than anything, and you got to be able to look and see them specks on your depth finder. You just got to know how to read your side scan. A lot of people don't know how to read side scan. So real quick, I'm gonna take you guys up to, and I know a lot of people don't have this technology. But that was all done with side scan. You can use down scan the same, but like I said, whenever you use that side scan, you can see where they're at right off the boat. But I will show you guys how to catch them with live scope too, because it can be very efficient with live scope. You can actually just chase them down. So let me move you guys up to the front here, and for those of you guys that are running live scope, I'll show you how to do that as well. So you can see right there, let me pan. You can see that's the big school of shad that I was just on right there. I'm in 6.5 feet of water. They're 20 feet out right now. So let me get up here, get away from the camera, and you can actually see the net going down. That was really hard to do with that camera right there, but I did get a few. All right, so there we go. You can see I got half a dozen or so in that throw. Didn't quite get thrown on the top of the school just because I got this camera here. So let's drop out a little deeper. I've got my range now. Okay, so I've got my range set out to 30 feet. You guys can see all those shad right there. They're down about 4 feet. You can just aim right off the front of the trolling motor. They're about 16 foot out. Let them get a little closer because I can't throw this throw net. All right, so about 12 foot. That was a pretty good throw. You guys can see that net going down. Let it hit bottom. Pick it up, and that's what we got to show. Another half a dozen or so more. Good 4 or 5 inch shad. All right, guys, so there's our nice shad. As you start to learn where to catch the shad, you'll start to see a difference in your side scan and your down scan. You'll start to see that size difference. Right now, this is what's out here, is these 5-6 inch shad. If I was to go a little deeper in the river channel, I could potentially pick off some bigger shad, the 10-11 inch shad. But to be quite honest, I'm not that worried about it. I fish all summer long with these shad. I fish channel cats, and these make great bait. You get 3 pieces of bait out of that one piece of shad, or out of that one shad, and it works out real well. So anyway, guys, I hope that kind of gave you a little information on how I catch my shad. It's pretty simple, really. You just have to understand your electronics. You have to understand what you're seeing on those electronics, and more so than that, you have to understand the movements of the shad throughout the year. I know that they come out to the big lake, off the edges of the islands, off the river channels, off the ledges in the summertime. If it was 2 months earlier from now, I would be right up against the bank, finding a hard mud bank. Using my side scan, same thing, to find that hard mud bank and to see them shad. But like I said, it'd take me a year to make this video if I had to go through all 4 seasons. But the shad will definitely be in different locations. The big bunches of shad will be in different locations, different times of the year. So anyway, I hope that helped you guys. I will make another video come the fall. Whenever they move deep, I'll show you what they look like deep. Once they move into that fall winter pattern, and then next spring I'll make another one too. But right now, this is how I target shad. You guys can see I made two throws right off the side of my boat using my side scan to help me, and I've got bait for a trip, so it's not that difficult. You just have to kind of understand the patterns of the fish and use your electronics to aid you. Anyway, guys, I hope you learned something. I hope this was educational. I had a lot of requests for it, and like I said, to me it seems really simple, so I hope I didn't miss anything. Just look at your electronics, study your electronics more than anything. Guys, a lot of people, I feel like, get these electronics and they just They don't use them to their fullest potential. I've spent literally thousands of hours looking at these electronics to know what I'm looking for. And you know, this goes for the same for fish, right? Even if you're looking for crappie and you're looking for schooled crappie, find something on your electronics, throw a net out on them. You throw them right back, but see what you're looking at, and you can start distinguishing the different species of fish. I know those are shad by those little tiny specks. Bigger fish will be longer, more elongated, football shaped. You'll actually see the shape of the fish in the shadow, but I know these are shad. You know, so just little things like that will really help you, help your learning curve of going out there. You know, I came out here and within 10 minutes I've got my bait and I'm on to fishing. So, you know, you don't have to spend an hour to go fishing. Anyway guys, I hope you learned something. I really appreciate the view. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys learned something from this video. It really does help me out. You guys have no idea, you know, how much it helps me out whenever you guys actually hit that thumbs up button versus not in a video. So I really appreciate that. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want me to do next. Until next time, thank you guys. See you guys.